Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. One of our top stories, we are learning exactly how many state employees received new merit-based raises. Out of the more than 20,000 employees, a little more than 5,000 are rated high enough to get a raise. Compare that to last year, when over 96% of state employees received raises. Legislators say a previous bell curve standard prevented supervisors from giving high rankings. Now the full pay scale overhaul is on hold, which means salary increases for thousands of workers will be delayed for another year.
So the expectations for a new salary were for naught.
We are trying to do a new pay plan study and a new performance evaluation system to go hand in hand.
Well, before we get to other news on this Friday, let's get a check at that weather with meteorologist Zach Scott. Zach, it's Friday. We're heading into that weekend, hoping for some good weather.
Yeah, we're going to still continue with chances of showers. You got them for your Friday, break on Saturday. Saturday after sunset, that's when we're going to start watching our next round of storms rolling in. That could linger through the overnight into Sunday morning. For your Friday, though, we got a lull in the activity. We had some late evening, early night storms skirting our southwestern zones, then a break. And then after daybreak, started tracking some more thunderstorms developing just out towards the west, moving east. Also some storms around the Tulsa area, isolated to scattered, moving towards northwest Arkansas. So late afternoon, 40-50% chance of a few isolated thunderstorms. Again, a few strong storms are going to be possible today. We're mostly watching these thunderstorms producing hail cores, small hail up to the size of $half. That's the main threat. Also, the potential for some gusty winds, 40 to 60 miles per hour. Doesn't stop just this morning with more daytime heating. The threat for isolated thunderstorms does continue through the afternoon. Now, Joe, as we get into the evening hours, the sun sets, we lose that energy. We should see quieter conditions moving in for our Saturday night, rather.
All right, thanks so much, Zach. All right, now let's get you caught up with some stories you might have missed this week. A pilot program in Northwest Arkansas could soon allow veteran medics to do house calls. The goal is to help ease the demand for urgent care clinics or emergency rooms and help patients get the care they need. 5 News reporter Rachel Williams talked to organizers behind this new initiative.
For 2 years, U.S. Navy veteran Ryan Cork and Bella Vista Battalion Chief Ronnie Cooper have been working to build a community paramedics program.
Of how can we help identify veterans that are coming out that have this experience in the real world in healthcare in the past, bring them to Northwest Arkansas, put them in school, give them jobs, help them, but also help our community.
Cork says when veterans get out of the military, there isn't a direct path for veterans to transition into civilian jobs.
And so we're serving multiple, I think, inroads is one, helping the veteran find his or her way after they're honorably discharged from the service. B, helping our local firehouses find employment from those that wish to work and have real-world experience of providing paramedic care, be it in U.S. or international, but have had worked right in the military and continue or wish to continue the work, helping NWAC with more students, NWAC helping us in providing education and training for these students.
The program would have 10 veterans who would work through a Benton or Washington County Fire Department.
It's not anything that costs the money of the veteran. It doesn't cost any money of the community. He or she will have the post 9/11 GI Bill that will pay for school. They'll be working as a firefighter or paramedic. That will provide income to them for their housing and their living. And they can also go to school and work at the same time for those credits to go towards their ultimate graduation to a community paramedic.
This initiative will be the first in Northwest Arkansas. Bella Vista Battalion Chief Ronnie Cooper says right now there's about 60 to 100 open positions across Northwest Arkansas for paramedics and EMTs.
It's not a small gap that we're trying to fill. It's a fairly large gap, and really the only way to do it is to get kids interested in being a fireman, in school, which there are programs that are doing that, or recruit folks from out of the state.
Cooper says ultimately the program would be a big benefit, especially with the rising population in Northwest Arkansas.
And we're struggling to keep up. So every time we build a new station, every time our cities build new stations, we got to fill those roles, those positions. So bringing people from outside the community and being able to fill those positions is extremely important. Our response times count on it. Just having the ability to fill those roles, especially paramedics.
In Benton County, covering news where you live, Rachel Williams, 5 News.
Also, a warning for dog owners. Northwest Arkansas veterinarians are reporting a spike in respiratory illness cases, specifically canine influenza. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer shows us steps that you can take to keep your dog safe.
These dogs are like our family.
Mandy Marshall owns Hounds Lounge Pet Resort and Spa. As Northwest Arkansas vets see a spike in reported respiratory illnesses among dogs.
I'd be lying if I haven't cried over this.
The Fayetteville Dog Boarding, Daycare, and Grooming Facility is taking extra precautions. Of greatest concern, canine influenza, which is highly contagious.
When I learned that canine flu has finally made it to Arkansas, I knew that it was my job to communicate and educate pet parents all across Northwest Arkansas.
Marshall says Hounds Lounge has no confirmed cases of canine flu. Even so, staff here has ramped up cleaning efforts.
We're using bleach like crazy.
And the facility is not accepting new clients.
The reality of it is that some other facilities may have shut down. We don't want those hoppers that are coming from other facilities to come in here and be contagious to our furry guests.
Marshall says communications with clients and local veterinarians is key.
We try to treat for the symptoms and make sure that it doesn't progress.
Dr. Sandy Jernigan is a veterinarian at Hancock Veterinary Services of Springdale. She says common signs of illness include cough, sneezing, runny nose, and drainage.
But they should still be eating, drinking. They should not be lethargic. They may sometimes run a fever. So if you're noticing signs that are getting worse, just make sure and get to your vet.
The infection can spread from dog to dog in multiple ways.
Close contact from grooming facilities or boarding or dog parks definitely increase the risk.
Dr. Jernigan recommends getting your dog vaccinated for influenza. However, that vaccine is in short supply.
We essentially have been out of the vaccine since February and haven't been able to get our hands on any. A lot of the dogs that would normally be protected don't have access to that vaccine at the moment.
A concern not only for Jernigan, but also Marshall, who's unsure when she'll be able to once again accept new clients.
I have no idea how long this is going to go.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Well, those are some of our top stories this week. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm Jo Ellison. I hope you have a great weekend.